you are a fitness, a wellness, a health professional, a coach, and if you're extremely frustrated with social media, why is it not working? Does it feel like it's just a wasted time in promoting your business? I'm going to give you some tips today and perhaps another shift in thinking about how to use social media to help grow your business. How do you use it to get more visibility? How do you use it to help find your clients? So one of the things I see a lot of people do is they're just kind of just putting out the offers out there. And then they're wondering why nobody is acting out on it. Or they have maybe an amazing offer and they're putting things out there in a very authentic way, but they don't have an audience and they don't have the number of eyeballs on there. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. So these are some common challenges. So the second thing that I would say that I see frequently happening is, and I'm guilty of this, is just kind of randomly putting stuff out there on social media without having a real strategic plan. And so what you put out there is not necessarily the most effective. You're putting stuff out there is maybe just kind of creating noise, and it's not pushing you to that next step in actually like finding clients. So let me share with you some things that I have found over time, and for myself and working with other business owners, that is extremely, extremely helpful and that can be very productive in growing your following and finding your clients. So I have a few little notes here. So if I'm looking down, it's just looking at my notes. So the first thing is coming at it with a very purposeful mindset where you're doing research. You're on social media so that you can really get a really good understanding of who your ideal client is. And what is it that they're struggling with? What are their concerns, right? Because if you don't tap into what they're concerned about and what they're worried about, they're not going to purchase. They're not going to be ready to make the leap. And what I found is by putting stuff out there and getting reactions, I can see what people are interested in. But if you can actually go and listen carefully to your ideal target audience, you can learn so much before putting out an offer. So some of the ways that you can do this, some research is on things like Facebook, on YouTube, on different social media platforms. There are thousands and thousands of different online groups and communities where people gather. So when you're starting out, you do need to put some energy. If you're going to use social media to grow your audience and find clients, you do need to put some time into finding out where are they hanging out. You need to find the communities where your target audience is. So finding those communities first. Then what you do, I look for communities that are active. So like, for example, on Facebook, you can go and look and see which communities have, like if they have 10 people in the community or 5,000 people in the community. You can look at, are there any recent activity or is there no activity? So I will pick and choose whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I will spend a little bit of time to research where my ideal target audience hang out. And I look for individuals, communities, could be other business owners where there's activity going on. And then what I do is I spend time in there listening. I spend time in there reading. I spend time in there looking at the comments that people are posting. What are they asking? What questions do they have? I recommend don't go at it from, oh, where can I find my client? But look at it from the perspective of like a researcher. So what can you learn in that community? What are the questions that keep popping up? What are the frustrations that are coming up, right? What are the questions that people are asking? That's going to be very informative. Then the next thing that I will do is I will also post things in the groups or ask questions. So here's the key though. You do it in a way that you are truly sincere and you want to know. And the second, I would say, approach to go at it is as a connector to connect with people and have conversations. And so I'm going to give you a couple examples. And if you're watching here, whether it's live or if you're watching the replay, if you have found some ways to put questions out there or to connect with people in a very authentic way, let us know what's worked for you. But I wrote a couple down. Let me share with you some of the ones that have worked for me. So the first one is I've done this a number of times and it was very informative. And you have to make sure that you have an audience. So if you're just putting this out there and only 3 people see it, you can't base your findings on it. So let's say that you do have an audience. So I might do something like, hey, how many of you have been, struggling with, or how many of you have been wondering about? And then what you do is you insert your area of expertise or the type of problems that you're solving. But again, you want to frame it in an authentic way. Like, so for example, I have an online business. I'm growing an online business. I want to help people who want to grow an online business. But I'm also truly interested in where are people struggling? What's stopping you from moving forward with expanding online, right? Because I want to just hear where people are struggling. That can help me in creating blog content and YouTube episodes and newsletters. But it's also like I'm growing my own business too. And so I'm always wanting to improve things. So just putting out questions out there, sometimes connecting to saying, hey, I've been struggling with da 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 da. How many of you have been struggling? What have you found helpful? What have you found not helpful? So when I post those questions out there, I'm coming at it from sincerity and I truly want to know. The other thing that I do, and you might not be able to do this in other people's platforms, but if you do have a following and you're putting yourself, instead of just randomly throwing things out there on social media to see what sticks, is do your market research. So this is one thing that I've done that's been super powerful is I'll say, hey, I'm thinking about creating a blog on such and such topic, or I'm thinking about creating a new program for, say, people who have had previous injuries and they're coming back to sport and they're wanting to know how to safely return to their sport and which exercises would be the safest ones to start out with, whatever it is, right? And I haven't created it yet. I haven't written it yet. I haven't done a YouTube live show on it yet. Maybe I have a new program I want to sell. I haven't done it yet, but I'm just seeing, is there interest, right? So I'll put it out on social media. Hey, I'm thinking about who would be interested in this. And I'll tell you, there are topics that I completely trashed because I've done that and it's been crickets. So that's a great way that I have found has been incredibly productive and useful for me in finding my ideal target audience and also growing my following. So one thing I would highly recommend, no matter where you are and what social media platform, is ultimately you want to get people's names. And I would highly recommend also getting their email addresses, because you want to have control and being able to communicate with these people on an ongoing basis, whether you have free content, free educational resources, or selling something. I think we've all been there where we've seen Facebook pages shut down and then their YouTube channels in danger of being shut down, right? So if you can put stuff out there that's going to attract your ideal target audience, put stuff that is of interest to them, get their name, get their email address, then that's growing your potential client list. So that's what you have to do the research, because if you're just putting stuff out there in front of an audience, you're putting money into a Facebook ad and nobody's acting on it. Number one, have you already built an authentic connection with that audience? If not, instead of putting money into a direct advertisement, I will put money into an ad to get people to come to a free online webinar, right? And then while you're interacting and educating them and answering questions, you are now building trust in your audience. You're now starting to establish a personal relationship with that audience. That's how you're going to find those perfect clients. So I find being authentic, doing research, a little bit of time out there, just observing and asking questions sincerely and authentically so you can learn better on what exactly they really care about, what are the burning questions. Then take that information and come with that mindset of service, give back to them, right? Once you know it's of interest. And then that's how you can start connecting and then engaging in conversations. That then will lead to authentic conversations and authentic relationships with people. And that's when people will invest and buy. When they have a personal connection with you, they know you, they trust you, they see that you're credible, they see that you have information that is helpful. It doesn't matter how many coaches and trainers are out there, but if they make that connection to you, they are more likely to invest in you. Even if your programs and prices are higher, you connect with them on that personal level. When they think, oh, I need help, you're going to be the one that comes to mind. So when I have conversations with people who I think might be the perfect ideal client, if I don't end up working with them, I don't necessarily look at that as wasted time. If I look at it from the mindset of, I'm going to learn from this and I'm going to just get better and better at knowing my ideal target audience, serving my ideal target audience, helping them and finding them. And in the long run, like that's how you can find like those perfect, highly committed, ideal clients. So what I would recommend is you need a way to funnel through and find the right people, the highly committed people, the right audience. So you kind of weed out the people that are not your ideal target audience. And one of the ways that I found that has been really, really helpful is I will put a questionnaire or survey out there. It will help them because I frame it with statements to help them to be more reflective on where they in their business. You can get them more self-reflective and more self-aware of just exactly where and how and why they need you. So if you go to fitfreelife.com, you'll see how I do it as statements, not as questions, but on a scale of like 1 to 10, where they do a self-assessment. And I have a whole nother YouTube video on this, and I'll post it if you want to know about how to do these surveys and questionnaires. But if you go to fitfreelife.com and if you take this, you'll see how I do the scale of 1 to 10. And then what you'll do is at the very end of the survey, there are some questions and there are a choice where you can see like how ready and how committed are they. If you do this, I promise you'll find your clients. And it can be as time consuming as having a lot of one-on-one interviews and one-on-one conversations. And it could also be doing something pre-recorded that has a super high value to the masses and finding people that way. So those are just, there's many, many other strategies to finding people and using social media, but those are some of the key ones that I've found have been incredibly helpful for me. Like I said, I've grown my business. I've built up my email list by thousands of people. And that has been like the biggest way, the most productive way that I've been able to find my ideal target audiences is by giving back to them. Doing those online trainings has been incredibly helpful for me. And then also don't make assumptions. Spend a little bit of time doing that market research, asking questions in an authentic way. And I promise you it will come back tenfold. So thank you. If you're still here listening to the end, thank you so much. Let me know what your background experience is. What kind of business owner are you? Where are you in moving online? Where are you in the social media marketing? What questions do you have? And check out my survey, fitfreelife.com. And it's a great way to see one example of a way that you can use a survey. I have some questions about being a business owner, so you can kind of self-reflect on where are you in your business and go all the way to the end and look at how I frame statements on commitment level. And if you happen to be my ideal target audience, and if you are ready to commit, and if you are looking for help connecting with me, like I will see your results and I will definitely reach out to you, or you can reach out to me directly. But check it out, fitfreelife.com. And I will post my video. I have 2 videos where I talk about how to create these types of surveys and how to use them, more strategies in using them. If you find it helpful, let me know. And I look forward to seeing you again on either one of our episodes or another live. Thank you so much for joining, and bye-bye for now.